Doesn't happen all that much, and I'm stoked when it does. I'm talking about finding some really good folding knives that are eligible for my best folding knives under $40 playlist. Here in the Nutnfancy Project, TNP for short. Hey guys, Nutnfancy of course, tabletop review, old school style, on 2 such knives. Are going into that playlist. They have totally earned it. CRKT fans rejoice. That's because there haven't been a ton of knife reviews here in TNP on Columbia River Knife and Tool. Here comes one on the lake. Not lake as in body of water, lake as in the knife. Here is a Zytel-handled CRKT Lake model 7255 Zulu. That is Z. Got 2 to show you. Here comes the aluminum and brass version 7255, nothing else. There you go. Look at the brass in there. That's a classy touch, don't you think? Talk about that in here in a second. Designed by Mr. Ron Lake of Eugene, Oregon. Haven't had the pleasure of meeting Mr. Ron yet. Maybe one day at SHOT or, I don't know, knife convention or something. I'll talk to you. Judging from these 2 knives alone, the guy knows what he's doing. Well designed knives. For EDC roll, you bet, jumping right into philosophy of use. Lightweight, thin, compact, easy to carry. That is the Lake. Weight on the Zytel-handled version, 3 ounces. That's if you don't take along its mini whip sound. Denim sheath? Yeah, it comes with a denim sheath. How often do you see that? And it also has a clip. We'll discuss that in here in a minute. Do you like the denim sheath, Nutnfancy? I would never use it. I'm not going to lie. Never, ever, ever, ever. But maybe there's some guys out there that would. Kind of, has a certain style to it. Throwback. The aluminum version, 3.8 ounces. Of course, the aluminum scale's a brass liner. It's going to add a little bit extra weight. That still makes them very carryable. Very carryable. Love it. Jumping down to ergonomics. One of the things I really love about the Lake series is this. The width. And the blade centering, by the way, too. It's perfection. Perfection. The width is ideal. Thinness is a very important attribute in carrying knives. I said that when I reviewed this Delica FFG, by way of contrast, Spyderco version. Not version. Of course, there's only one maker. About the same width, and that makes them easy to carry, a joy to carry, if you will. The blade steel. A variance on what we commonly talk about here in TNP, and that's 8CR13 MOV. It's the 14 MOV variety. Still analogous to OS8. That means it's going to have good edge holding characteristics, easy enough to sharpen, and it does arrive razor sharp out of box. Well done. Well done, CRKT. How often do we not see that? Once in a while, even from big makers, it happens. I could get into the absolute details of 8CR14 MOV. I think it bores most guys. They don't care. All they want to know is it sharp? Yes. Can I resharpen it to that level? Yes, you can. Will it resist rust to an adequate degree? Yes to all the above. That's 8CR14 MOV. It's a premium Chinese produced steel. We're seeing it a lot. And the 13, of course. Talked about it a lot on camera. Blade shape is kind of a drop point. Hollow ground this time, not full flat grind. No big deal. You can see there from the flats how it plunges down from about 3/4 of the way to the relief edge. And it has actually a pretty well designed tip. Not too thin, not too thick, ready for detail work like every EDC knife blade should be. Opens packages readily, preps food readily, does all the things we want our utility blades to do. I like the blade shape, and it has some belly right there too, which is very important. Speed. These are lockups. What am I saying? Not lockups, lockbacks. And sometimes in a lockback, the spring tension is too much and they deploy rather slowly. Not the case with the CRKT Lake. I find they come out wicked fast for a lockback. Wicked fast. Just like so. Well balanced. I think there's some phosphor bronze bushings in there. I could be wrong. At any rate, the speed is rocking. The lockup is rocking. No side to side, no up and down play at all. And if there is, you might have to use a specially designed adjustment tool that comes with a Lake. Kind of a miss to me. I mean, it looks kind of cool. It's different. I think it's more of a styling thing that we didn't use an Allen head screw. I don't have a big issue with it. Just don't lose the adjustment tool that it comes with. Otherwise, if and when you do have to adjust it, you might be out of luck. Strength. It's okay. I don't know if it's like amazing, you know, but it's an EDC blade. How much strength do you need? How much abuse are you going to be putting it through? If you're putting it through a lot, I suggest you upgrade to a different knife. And there's hundreds that I've reviewed that you could do just that. It's going to be heavier, going to be, you know, bigger in some cases, not always. You know, that cold steel triad lock is pretty much amazing. If you want that much strength, then you might want to upgrade. But for EDC purposes, the lockup and I think the durability of the CRKT Lake's going to be great. All right, kind of fun. 2 different handle materials to discuss in the Lake series. Already showed you this one, kind of a basket weave pattern on the Zytel. You can remove the handles too. You see that? Recessed Allen head screws right there like that. And notice that, at least in this version, subject to change, the aluminum handled, also a basket weave pattern, aren't quite flush mounted, those screws. Okay. Which one do you prefer between them? I don't know. I kind of like the aluminum one because it's just kind of special. Okay, especially with the brass liners. How throwback is that? You know, kind of harkening back to knives of old, craftsmanship. The brass liners rock. I think they're just gorgeous. They have good contrast. They set off the black aluminum scales well. They do add a little bit of weight. 3.8 ounces, so about an ounce more after it's all said and done. Steel lined, I actually think that's aluminum in there. Could be wrong. And they're not skeletonized. In this version, I don't know if it's really necessary. I could be wrong. Let me make sure I'm telling you right. Oh, that's right. I don't have my light handy here. Apologize. No, they're not skeletonized. I was looking at another knife. I thought I'd confused it. Happens sometimes. Light enough. You skeletonize it, maybe 2.5 ounces. I'm all about the super lightweight. You know that, especially in EDC blades. I like both of the handle materials. How about the traction on both? Not much. Not much to speak of at all. And of course, no jimping at all. That's kind of a miss. No thumb ramp either. Okay, so I don't know, kind of, there's your finger choil on the bottom. It's deep enough. Is that a showstopper? No, not for EDC use. I would like it. Again, I don't know, just because it's here. Delica FFG, thumb ramp and jimping. That's a Hall of Fame blade in the Nutnfancy project for so many reasons. Look up the review if you're interested. Handle material is excellent. Ergonomics. Talked about the jimping or lack thereof. Overall, though, in hand, as an EDC blade, it's excellent. You know, reverse hold, who cares? It's an EDC blade. I think the ergonomics are excellent. The locking bar, releases easily. There's the detail on the back spine, by the way, on the Zytel version, on the brass version. It's kind of a ventilated back where the locking bar is. Okay, and that takes us, if we're talking about ergonomics, I guess I got to spend some airtime talking about, what do they call it, the LBS, lockback safety? Yawn, totally not needed. Why do we put that on there? I guess it's supposed to lock the locking bar in either position. You just actuate that and you can't close a knife. You actuate it and you can't open the knife. Again, not needed. You know, again, we see from CRKT, sometimes I think of it as babysitting. You know, don't need it. Ergonomically, though, and that's all I'm going to say about that. I would never use this, and I haven't in the CRKT Lake. I just don't. It's just superfluous. Big word. There's your thumb studs, already ambi, Frenched into the top spine of the CRKT Lake. And I also think it's called the 111 or something like that. Yeah, the model number's 111, but the catalog number's different, 7255. Volcano issues means it's not tape. If it does have that, it means it's tapered and it's hard to get traction on the blade. You won't find that. I think it's easy. And then in closed position, if we look at it, no handle occlusions that prevent us getting to it. Good job on that. Let's go to clip. In the Zytel version, let me polish that up a little bit right there. Actually, this is the aluminum version. It's kind of satin finished, stone washed, if you will. Good clip design, though. Look at that. Unfortunately, I hope you like its position because it's stuck there. You can't move it. Going to carry tip down, which I don't dig so much. It does carry relatively deep though. The Lake does. And then the clip on this version is polished. That's a Zytel. Really nice looking. Okay, contrasting against the black, very nice. I love the clip. I find that it's strong, anchored well, and carries pretty securely. I had no issues with it of it springing off and carrying it for over 2 months. I had these knives in the project 6-ish, maybe longer. I actually got one of these versions later on because I wanted to review both of them. Durability, I think, will be, like I mentioned previously, totally adequate. Good steel choice, don't abuse it. The value. Oh, this is exciting. How about this? 2011, subject to change. Don't hold me to it. But upper right, $16 they were selling it for. $16 for the Zytel version? For everything that I'm showing you, that clip, just dropped it. The grind, the sharpness, the speed, the lockup for $16. Yeah, it's a shoe-in for best knives under $40. This one's not far behind it, the aluminum handled one. With all that brass coolness there. Dude, well done. That's big value for that. Are there all kinds of other options you consider? Yeah, dudes, I talk about them all the time. Go look in that playlist, you'll see them listed. You know, knives like this, 2710 Kershaw Scamp. By the way, I'll throw this down just for size comparison. You can see that CRKT Lake is a little bit smaller, and I prefer that in my EDC blades. Said it in the Scamp review, didn't I? I said that was a little bit on the big side for that. Buck Nobleman? Dude, I need to knock a review on that someday. That's a cool little blade. And of course, Delica 4 FFG. It's so funny that I think the manufacturers love when I do a review on their knives, like CRKT will probably love this. They probably don't love it when I show competitive options. But again, my customer is you, not the manufacturers. Sorry, manufacturers. How about this one? What is this, the Nerve Kershaw? Another great high-value knife, model 3420, I think. Yeah, all kinds of options. Man, we live in cool times. Cool times. I know, some ways bad times, mostly good. High value, well made, super fast, razor sharp, very flat and thin to carry. Great clip, albeit mounted on the wrong side. Not switchable, especially if you're a lefty. That's a CRKT Lake model 7255, recommended. Time will tell if it goes into my Hall of Fame playlist, but it's definitely going into my best knives under $40. Nutnfancy.